They say that good things come in threes, and boy, is that true for us Denver Broncos fans. We've had 3 Super Bowls in my lifetime. We've had John Elway, Peyton Manning, and now Bo Nix, and boy, oh boy, did we get a trio of good news as we have a must-win game against the Atlanta Falcons. Must win if we want to make the playoffs this year. We got to take care of our remaining games at home. We're going to dive into some great injury news for us and the team we're about to play, some great news about Bo Nix, and some great news about a team we are battling with for playoff contention. If you're new to this channel, it would help me out a ton if you would like, subscribe, and a third, share it with a Broncos friend who maybe doesn't BO-LIEVE yet and you want them to BO-LIEVE as well. So the first amazing piece of great news is that Sean Payton has done something special around here. We went from being one of the most injured teams in professional football under Nathaniel Hackett to last year we were the least injured team, and I would imagine that that trend is continuing as today, when you read our injury report from yesterday and today, all 53 people on our active roster practice. Like, that is just wild, especially coming after a game that you heard Pat Surtain say, like, that was the most physical game he's played in a long time. We out-physicaled our division rivals. You shouldn't come out of that game unscathed, and we did. And so that's just amazing news that we are looking good. Today we saw second day in a row that Josh Reynolds was a full participant in practice, and he is looking good according to the open period of practice, that he's looking good. I think that is going to open up a ton for Bo Nix to not just have Cortland Sutton and a couple dudes off your practice squad and a couple rookies you're relying on, but to have a great slant runner that you can add to Devon Vele. And then obviously we're seeing Mims get involved in some really cool ways, but awesome injury news for us. Now, when you look on the other side of the coin, we are about to play a team who is the definition of banged up coming into this game. Obviously, I think we match up extremely well against the Falcons when they're at full strength, but they're nowhere near full strength at this point. And we're not celebrating injuries. We're just saying, hey, we'll take any win we can to get us to that 9-10 wins that gets us in the playoffs and breaking that streak. So when you look at this, Falcons also coming off of a loss to the team that we mollywopped on a short week. They lost to their division rivals, the New Orleans Saints, and it was an extremely physical game, and there are 15 of their guys who showed up on injury reports over these 2 days, and now they are coming to Mile High, 5,280 feet above sea level, and it is just going to be a fantastic matchup that we are at full strength, and they are nowhere near that. On top of that, one of their weaknesses, in my estimation, is that they have a very immobile quarterback. Now, he's getting the ball out very quickly. Kirk Cousins is one of my favorite dudes in the NFL. I watched that Netflix series on him, watched it with my son. He's a great dude. But he just does not have what it takes to be like an elite game-changing quarterback, and especially when he is dinged up. So he's up there in age. He's coming off an Achilles injury, and now he's got 2 injuries on his throwing arm. So he was listed on their injury report on Wednesday for both a shoulder and a wrist injury. And so that there were a lot of speculation coming into the game that we actually might see, or I guess it's a right shoulder and a right elbow injury is what he is facing. A lot of rumors up until just even a few seconds ago that we might actually see Michael Penix, which would actually scare me a little bit more. I like how Sean Payton and Vance Joseph looked against rookie quarterback Spencer Rattler, but I just think Penix adds an element to this that we don't have film on yet, and that scares me a little bit. So I love that Kirk Cousins was a full participant in practice today and is expected to play in the game. It would have been cool to see Bo Nix outshine another rookie who people said he wasn't as good as. But it does look like we are going to get Cousins, but you're talking about an immobile dude with a sore throwing arm in the shoulder and the elbow, and we are the team that has just led the NFL, and there's not even a close second when it comes to pass the pressure that we put on a quarterback. The next team behind us is 20 pressures below us, and I just think we jack that number through the roof this week. Another thing, since their injury report yesterday came out, they have multiple wideouts on there. So Drake London, who is a scary receiver and has a top-end talent there, is on that injury report. And now they also added Darnell Mooney with an Achilles injury. And so you're talking about a banged-up quarterback, a banged-up receiving core, and I just think the Broncos are going to feast on this, especially when we see the chip that they have on their shoulder after losing a game that they really should have won last week against Kansas City Chiefs. the ultimate get-right game this week for Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Bo Nix has never had a 3-game losing streak in his career, and he's not about to let it start against the Falcons, who are banged up at home. This is awesome. Vegas agrees with this. It's one of the, going into the season, we were favored in only one game the entire year, and that was the Panthers game. The odds makers and the NFL is starting to show some respect on us, and we are actually favorites in this game, and we should take care of business. Sean Payton has defeated all 3. I guess one of them was the team he coached for, but he is undefeated in NFC South opponents, and I think that just continues this week. Just like, if Sean Payton leaves somewhere and goes to another team, he's going to carry with him the hate for the Chiefs and the Raiders and the Chargers, and he's doing that here. He still has that hate for all of his former divisional opponents, and you're going to just see him open up the faucet this week on them. Also, seeing, just when you talk about the Broncos like barely hanging on to that 7th playoff seed and like you're thinking about that 5-game winning prediction, it's pretty wild to me that somebody put out this stat today of what would happen if those 1-possession games flip the other way and how would that play out. And it's incredible to see like the Broncos have been in every single game essentially, other than that loss that they had to the Ravens, and that was a buzzsaw, and that was a weird week, and I think we play them better if we face them in the playoffs. But incredible to see that the NFL is going to be, there's such a the talent is so equal that truly it comes down to those 1-score games, and sometimes the ball bounces your way and sometimes it doesn't. But this is incredible to see that we are a good team, and we are going to take the league by storm when we make the playoffs this year. A couple other amazing things that happened here. We get a stat that comes out that like Bo Nix truly balled out of control against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, and Sean Payton agreed with it. You hear all Andy Reid gloat about him. You heard Travis Kelce say he was awesome. You heard Pat Mahomes say he was awesome. Well, now the advanced analytics are showing that he is the only quarterback who has played the Kansas City Chiefs all year. And you got to remember, the Chiefs have played Lamar Jackson. They've played Baker Mayfield. Like, they've played some tough teams, some tough quarterbacks. He's the only one with 0 turnover-worthy plays against the Chiefs this entire season, and he did it on the road in front of a hostile crowd, and that is why he actually was named the AFC Offensive Rookie of the Week. So you add that to the fact that he was the Offensive Rookie of the month. The month prior, Bo Nix keeps stacking these up and truly taking steps forward each and every week, and that's absolutely fantastic news. Part of his success is our offensive line has been playing out of control. According to Pro Football Focus and Mark Schlereth and anybody who knows football, the Denver Broncos are one of the best offensive lines in the league. We knew Sean Payton wanted to build from the inside out like that, and he has not invested in these great skilled players on the outside. He invests inside, and but way back in July, he said it's the most important position group on your team. It permeates throughout your building. He paid Quinn Miners. He's just invested heavily in it. He's got his dude, Zach Strief, coaching up those boys, and Pro Football Focus said they are number 2, the second best offensive line in the league. So you look at this week, we have the Atlanta Falcons coming to town, who are the 32nd best team at rushing the passer. They have very few sacks this season. Their leading sacker has like 2.5 sacks on the whole season, whereas you look at, there's several Broncos who get 2.5 sacks in one game. And so I think the Broncos' offensive line is going to be fired up after the blocked kick that was the offensive line's fault, if you will. They are going to have something to prove against this pass rush that is virtually non-existent. And I think all of this is teaming up to be fantastic news, because we win this game. This week, we are talking about being a game over 500 with a very winnable game against a Raiders team who's tanking. And then a Monday Night Football game, Mile High is going to be losing its mind. And we'll be 3 games above 500 going into our bye week, with the rest of the season in front of us and the playoffs in front of us. And I am insanely hyped. I hope y'all are too, because we got a lot to believe in. Oh, come on. I might have to quit the shot. I haven't made it in like a month.